Fortnite's mid-seasons. We've done overrated, we've done overhated, we've done underrated, and now it's time to do Fortnite's mid-seasons. These are seasons that aren't great, but I mean, they weren't bad either. They're just kind of in the middle, kind of average, you know. Before we get into it, I just want to say, like, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Use code Brivy in the item shop. Turn on the bell icon so that you're notified when I'm live. Enjoy the video. So I'm gonna try to talk about seasons that I haven't already talked about before. Like, there's a lot more. I'm kind of gonna skip around a little bit. There's a lot more in between the seasons that I'm gonna list today that are mid, but I'm gonna try to kind of talk about seasons I haven't talked about before. So starting up, we've got Chapter 2, Season 5. So let me paint the picture for you. We're coming off a really good season, Chapter 2, Season 4. It was fantastic. One of the best of all time. Definitely top 5 for sure. And this wasn't a bad season by any means. I just think it was really boring. But with that being said, there was a lot of cool stuff added this season. A lot of revolutionary stuff. Like, for instance, exotic weapons. Exotic weapons are a fantastic idea. I love the idea of them. They all have, like, really unique abilities. This is when gold was first introduced. Like, you could go to NPCs and talk to them and buy weapons. Like, that was the first, this season was the first time that was introduced. The bounty boards were introduced for the first time. That's a really cool mechanic that still kind of exists to this day. So they put a lot of cool stuff in the game. I wasn't enthused with a lot of the other stuff that they had in this game. For instance, the map changes. I was not a fan of the desert biome. I liked it like the first week, and after that it was just really boring. It had the 0 point like in the middle of the map, which was pretty cool. It was pretty to look at, and you know, you could hide down in the sand and like move as sand, which was pretty funny. I gotta admit, that was pretty cool. But I wasn't a fan of the whole desert biome. This is when the map updates in Chapter 2 just begun to get bad. So map changes, they weren't astounding. They weren't bad by any means. It just got really boring after a while. Not even a while, just like a week. As far as the theme goes, I like the theme. I don't think it's great. I think they did as much as they could with it. They maybe could have done a little bit more. I just think this is kind of a weak theme to base a whole season on. And speaking of that, the Mandalorian collab. I feel like they did the Mandalorian so dirty. All they did was give him a battle pass skin and gave him a mythic sniper that was not that good. I feel like they could have done a lot more with it, and they just didn't. I was really disappointed about that. I was like, wow. But the battle pass wasn't bad. This was like the first time we got an anime skin, Alexa. Not a terrible battle pass, I'll say that. Yeah, exotics really took the stage this season as far as like weapons go, which leads me to the weapon meta. The shotgun meta was tack, charge, and lever. I'm not a big fan of the charge, and I hate the lever. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get killed for that too. People love the lever action shotgun. I don't like it. You cannot hit a good headshot with the lever action shotgun. If you try to aim for the head, you're gonna hit for 34 damage. I'm just not a fan of it. I don't think it's bad. I never really used it. I always used the tack, and I don't like the charge. So the weapon meta was it was kind of mid to me. Oh yeah, and the lever action rifle. It had like 5 shots in it. It didn't have a scope on it, and it did like 70 damage. It was garbage. Chug cannon was new. Yep, this is the first time that was introduced. That's pretty cool. And there were a couple cool modes that they added this season. Like, for instance, the laser beam and fresh, like, cash cup that they had. It was really fun. And speaking of that, laser beam got a skin this season, so I mean, I feel like I gotta give it its credit there. Who doesn't love laser beam? And I remember, I don't know why I remember this. There was Team Rumble, but it was like a Super Bowl version, because this was like when the Super Bowl was happening. It was the Chiefs versus the Buccaneers, and I made a video about it. It's not on my channel anymore. I think I deleted it, but that was really fun. So in all, I don't think this was a bad season. I just think it got really boring, and that's okay. You know, it happens. It happens to a lot of good seasons. Like, I don't think this was a bad season. I think it was a good season. I think it got boring, and that made it kind of mid. Moving on, we've got Chapter 2, Season 8. This season is this is like the more interesting one on this list, because let me say something. They did very well with this season. They did well with map updates, with game updates, with weapon meta updates. Chapter 2 was getting so old at this point that I don't think anything they could have done could have made this season that good. Like, I bet some people really like this season, and I didn't hate this season. I think this season was better than Chapter 2 Season 5. I'll say that. I think it was more interesting than Chapter 2 Season 5. Did not like the theme for this season. Cubed, that's just a dumb theme. This was a rip-off theme version of Chapter 1 Season 6. It's the same thing, just a little bit worse. But this was not a bad season. This season, I remember specifically, a lot of the casual players were complaining about how sweaty the game was. This season, I don't know why. This season was like really sweaty for some reason. It was a very like competitive base season because the meta was like really simple. The season before, season 7, was like there was a lot of spammy weapons, and so casual players could just beat the like pros. But this season was very like simple weapon meta. There wasn't anything like too broken in the game. All the sweats were just dominating all the casual players. They had no chance. As far as the battle pass goes, I really like this battle pass. I think every skin is pretty good, to be honest. I did buy this one too, so which is pretty cool. And also I gotta remember this was Halloween time, so they had like all the monsters are back in the game. We actually did get some new. We got the sideways rifle and the sideways minigun. Like little bubbles would spawn around the map, and you would like fight the monsters and then get good weapons if you like beat them all. It was weird. It was cool though. Chili chug splashes were new. That's a really cool item. I don't think that gets talked about enough. I really like the chili chug splash. Everyone does. Who doesn't, you know? Oh yeah, we had the Venom collab. I remember that. It had the little, there was the Carnage Mythic. You could like reach, it was kind of like the Chain of Hades. You could like reach through builds and pull people towards you. I remember, I used to get so mad about that. The Carnage Mythic was so broken, dude. And of course, all the Halloween stuff came back out. It was nice. Oh yeah, Combat AR, that was introduced, I'm pretty sure for the first time. I think that's the first time we saw that. That thing shreds. The recoil was like really bad on it. People would complain about that. I thought it was really, really good. And okay, so they did this thing where like every update they would put 2 items on a board, and you could go in game and use your gold on it and vote on what you wanted to see back in the game. Like, it was really, really cool. I think that's a really good idea. Epic did a good amount trying to keep the season interesting. Oh, I forgot about map changes. Map changes, literally all that changed was just there was a big orange part in the middle of the map, and it was like all the cube purple stuff. It really wasn't that interesting. At one point it changed from whatever it was called in the beginning to the convergence. It wasn't great. All it really did was make the whole map orange. There were some cool little like mini spots that came out of like the season, and there were like little purple slipstreams that were all around, and the shadow cubes came back, and you could like move around to the shadow. It was pretty cool. It wasn't too bad. Overall, it was just hard to. It would have been hard to make this season really good. Chapter 2 was just getting old, man. It just was. Great chapter. Like, great chapter. But it was getting old. Chapter 1 did the same thing. Every other chapter did the same thing. And to be honest, every finale season of every chapter has kind of flopped because everyone's just tired of the game. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it made this season kind of mid, even though this season had a lot of potential, and it's saddening. All right, and last but not least, we have Chapter 3, Season 4. This season gets a lot of crap, and I really don't know why. I don't think this was a bad season at all. I thought it was pretty decent. But, I mean, again, Chapter 3 was getting old, man. It just kind of made the season really mid. The Chrome theme, I thought it was pretty good, to be honest. I think it's a good idea. I just don't think it played out as well as they expected to, and as I expected it to. I just don't think it did as well as I thought it would, and I don't think it did as well as they thought it would either. The live event at the end of the chapter was kind of booty cheeks, if I remember right. I'm not really sure. The bottom left of the map turned from like that blue biome from Season 3 to like an oranger biome. Daily Bugle had some chrome in it, and like all throughout Sanctuary there was a mythic boss. I think her name was Harold, and there was chrome areas all around the map, like at Condo Canyon, and one like kind of right outside of Sanctuary, like right on the fringe of the desert biome. I can't remember what that place was called. And like stuff began to change at the reality tree. I can't remember what that was all about either. Oh yeah, I forgot the chrome, like you could morph into chrome and you could like move weirdly as a little chrome ball. You could phase through walls if you wanted to. The Porta Bunker. Oh yeah, that was really good for Zero build, I remember. And they're still in the game, so kudos to you, Epic. You introduced a really cool item. Of course, all the chrome weapons, the Evo Chrome Burst Rifle, which actually wasn't too bad. The Mythic one was pretty good, actually. And the Evo Chrome Shotgun, which was dog water. That thing was absolute garbage. Shotgun meta, it was Prime and Lever, which not great. I don't love the Lever. That's really the only reason why. I didn't hate the Prime. At the time, I didn't really like the Prime either, but looking back at it now, I do. This is when they took the Stinger SMG and the Combat SMG both out of the game. That was great. I remember that distinctly. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Oh yeah, the Cobra DMR was introduced this season as well as the Goo Gun. I remember the Goo Gun. That thing was so AIDS to play against. I remember that distinctly. I don't know why they had to add that, but whatever. This was also like Halloween time too, so all the Halloween stuff came back in the game. Man, I just realized, why are all the Halloween seasons so mid? I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. I didn't love this season. I didn't think it was bad. At the time, I probably did. I honestly can't remember what I thought about this season. I was just really ready for chapter 3 to be over. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, all right, let's play this season, get it over with. Go to chapter 4. This really wasn't a bad season at all. People give this season a lot of crap, but I don't really think it was bad. I just think this one got really boring too. It got this one got really annoying to play. I don't think season 8, chapter 2 season 5 or chapter 2 season 8 got annoying to play. This got very annoying to play after a while. And it just made for a mid-season, man. Not great, but not terrible either. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know if you agree with me. If you don't, that's fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, all the support. Make sure to like, subscribe, use code BRIVY, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you.